All right, let me start with the restaurant menu choices that I have for you. One is using a block from the plugin GetWit, which I have included in the ThemeBlocks Plus plugin of mine. Um, and the way you need to activate it first, because when you install it, nothing has been activated. If you go to Gutenberg Blocks, you're gonna find it here. So once you activate it in the editor, in the inserter, you're gonna find all the GetWit blocks available for you. The second one is my doing is a block that I have created with ACF Pro. It's called Price List, and you can choose either one. Let me show you how they work. So the first one again is from GetWit. It's basically 4 blocks. The way they do it is each item menu is a block, and I put it inside a Gutenberg column. It has 2 columns, and I made 2 menu items and make copies of them, and that's it. The second one is this is my coded ACF Pro coded blocks. And it's basically, unlike being 4 blocks, it's actually 2 blocks. Again, it's inside a Gutenberg column, which has 2 columns actually. It's inside Gutenberg columns, which has 2 columns. And this is the first block, and that's the second block. I am using a repeater field to create those. So let's jump in the backside and see what's going on. All right, the easiest way of seeing things, I'm going to open the navigation menu, and this is the first menu, the first columns, which is the GetWit blocks, and this is the second columns, which houses the ACF blocks. In the inserter, if you go to GetWit blocks, this is what you're looking for: price list, not the price box, price list. And when it comes to my blocks, my color blocks, you're gonna see them, they're in blue color. They are going to be in the content, I believe, and it's the theme price list. Okay. All right, so let me jump over here again. So in the columns, I have a column, and this is the second column over here. So in the first column, I've got a price list and another price list, and it's pretty simple. You type in the heading, you type in the amount, and then the description. You upload the image, the title tag. You decide to be paragraph H1, H2, whatever, and then you decide the colors, and if you want to have a divider, this is the divider. So you do this 4 times or as many times as you want. All right, that's a GetWit. Things get a little bit more interesting and more complex, or maybe even easier, depending how you look at it, when it comes to the ACF blocks. So if I click on it, and I have the option of previewing it, and here's a preview. This is what you're going to see in the front end, and this is the when you do that, on the sidebar you can edit things. As you can see, the repeater fields, you can minimize them and maximize them, so you can add as many items as you want. That's the repeater field. So each item, each repeated item has a title, which is the item name. It has a description. It has a price. You can put the $sign or any currency that you want. You can upload an image and a link. Now, if you don't upload an image or you don't have a link, the links, the text for image and more info is not going to show up, as you can see from the other 2 items, 2 and 3. As far as the images go, when you click on the link to the image, it's going to open in a new tab. When it comes to more info text, you can change the wording over here, and you can also indicate whether you want it to be opened in a new tab or in the same tab in your browser. And that's it. So I created the first block, which has 3 items. I put the title breakfast. I made a copy of it, transferred it to the second column. The only thing that changed after that was just change the menu title, just to speed things up. All right, so these are your choices. Let's see on the front end how actually the ACF block works. So the image is going to open a new tab, and also I chose the more info, the Google website, to open a new tab as well. Now, because of limitation, Gutenberg limitation, we can have only one inner block. So I can, and because I'm using a repeater field, I'm gonna have more than one inner block in this example in the price list. So I don't have the choice of using an inner block. So what if I wanted, instead of simple text, I wanted to have an actual image in there, or a button, or anything you can imagine, any type of block that you can imagine? The only way of doing that is to use reusable blocks, and I'm going to show you right now. So first of all, you need to go into the theme blocks, to the function scripts, and turn on the Manage Gutenberg Blocks plugin. That is going to give you a link here. Okay, so all your site's reusable blocks are going to be contained here. Right now there isn't any, so let's create one. This example, I'm gonna include it into one of my items. So let me call it item 2. You can give it any name that you want. Okay, I'm going to create a group, and this is something that Gutenberg got updated last week, and this is a new feature now. The feature that you can now put them in columns or rows. Okay, so I'm gonna use the rows. So right now I'm going to go get a theme image. I don't have any dish images, any food images, so I'm just gonna put a car. I can choose random image. Yeah, why not? Let's get a little bit exciting. So every time he's gonna choose one of those 3 images randomly every time I load the page. 100%. Let's do a light box, shadow, 15 degrees for random images. Animation, no, forget it, no animation. All right, let's render that, and I'm going to get some text, random text, and let's put that in here. All right, as you can see, when I go to the group, I can order them any way I want. Okay, so I want to put them next to each other. I could have used columns, by the way, but I choose to use the latest methods of doing things. They're using Flex, by the way, CSS Flex, to do all this stuff. All right, so I'm gonna publish this. Now, if you go back to blocks, it's going to give you a shortcode to display that particular reusable block. So when you go back into the editor, you can access that particular reusable block either by the inserter. When you go reusable, there it is, item 2, you can put it in there, or you can simply, let's go to item 2 in this example, and let me go to content, item 1, there's the item 2, get rid of that, put the shortcode in there. Okay, so what I've created in Gutenberg, it's going to be hopefully shown, and there it is. The image must small, so let me get a larger image so it can occupy more space. So it's a matter of using the right image sizes, I guess. So really quickly, I'm going to go to blocks. I'm going to just get rid of that Porsche image. Or I'm just going to put, let's do it on the side. Yeah, I'm going to use that. That's a big image. So I'm going to go to contents. I'm just going to get rid of the images. No random images. I just want one. So I'm going to come here and choose that large image. The others were 500 by 500 or 500 by 600, whatever it was. Now we should have better image. There you go. So if I click on it, because it's Lightbox, you're gonna have the bigger image. So those are your choices basically that I can think of right out of my head without searching of other plugins to do menus. That's one way of doing it. You can actually put the image to open a new tab, or you can use reusable blocks and with a shortcode you can put whatever you want. If you want to put a button here to buy, to order online, anything you can imagine, you can put in there. A video, whatever blocks you have available to your disposal, you can put it in there. So that's for restaurant menus. Let me let me show you some other stuff. So we have the cards versus custom cards, and this is the difference between using a block that's programmed versus having an inner block or an empty block per se to do whatever you want. Okay, so let me show you the two differences. So they're both my blocks that I've created with ACF Pro. This is called card plugin, and when it comes to cards, I've got several of them. So this particular one is called simply card. Where are they? There you go, cards. So we have the custom card, which is this one I'm going to show you in a second. We have the theme card, which is this one. We have the map card. So instead of image, everything is going to be the same, but instead of the image, we're going to have a Google map we can put there. The YouTube card, so instead of image, obviously it's going to be a YouTube video. Then you have Vimeo card. We have a then we have the flip card, which is completely different. The hover box is completely different and all that. All right, so the rest are different. So let me explain the difference between the two. So when it comes to the theme card or any other block that's coded, you are stuck with the layout that's been coded. And if you want to change the layout, you have to change the code. For example, if I want to put the title on top of the image, I have to change the code. I have to dive into the code and do it. However, underneath it, we have an inner block. That means inside the inner block, I can put other blocks, right? So this is a paragraph and this is a theme button. And I can put as many as I want, and I can change the order of them. So if I want to put the button above the text, all I have to do is click on it and then change it. But it can't go any further because this is the coded part. So basically, in this case, the theme card, you need to have the picture on top, you need to have the title underneath it, and then underneath the title, you can have the inner block, which is one inner block per block. Okay, so I can put as many blocks as I want. Anything that's available in the inserter, anywhere from simple blocks like paragraph or complicated ones like a slider or anything else you can imagine. And you can change the order over here. Now, and really quickly, what I have here, I'm using random images for the image. So every time the page loads, you're going to see a random image. And you have the title here. The title color, if you want to change it. Let me change it to blue. Let me change the title. Okay. The size, if you want the image to be opened in a light box. The border, you have 3D or you have flat. It's without the shadows, or no border whatsoever. Okay. Let's go with 3D again. And then if you want to have an animation, and the animation is going to be for the entire block. So let's say I wanted to zoom in 2 seconds. Now, let's go to the custom block. So the custom block, basically, and I'm gonna create a new one over here so you can see the difference. Let me open. There you go. Custom thing cards. Custom cards, sorry. Alright, so the difference is all I have is a container, which basically all I can do, decide the border, the top margin, bottom margin, and the animation for the block, and the duration, right? Inside it, I've got the one inner block that I'm allowed to use. And inside the inner block, I can put anything I want now. As many items that I want. I can put from paragraphs, pictures, buttons, you know, whatever you can imagine. Let me get rid of this now. Now, what's the advantage or disadvantage? Well, the advantage over here is with the theme card is that I can just input the picture. I can put the title, and then whatever I want underneath, which is, you know, just text in most cases and nothing that much important. And I can change, you know, different stuff. But things will progress pretty quickly. Over here, the disadvantage is that I have to come up with a layout. I have to decide with, you know, the text, the title is the headline, whatever you want to call it. You want it to go on top. You want the picture. In this case, I'm not using a picture. On the left side of the card, I'm stuck with a picture. I have to use image. Over here, because I can use anything I want, I'm using my own coded Ken Burns slider, right? And then I'm putting a button and then the text. Now, the advantage, one of the advantages is that because each one inside the inner blocks, they're individual blocks, how simple or how complex they are, I can animate them independently. So if I go over here in the logo text and say go to the animation, slide down, let's make it a little bit slower in 5 seconds. This one, I don't think the slider has animations that I can do, but the button certainly does. So do I have any styling besides fade in? Let's do the zoom in. Let's do that 5 seconds too to make it a little bit slower. And finally, because this is a core block, doesn't have any animations, so leave it like that. Now, if I want to change the order, if I want to put the button, click on it, down arrow. It's as simple as that. Or you can open the navigation pane over here and simply drag any of the objects any way you want. So I can change the layout very easily. Okay, so let me put that on top. Let's leave it the way it is. Also, another way of finding your way around, click on an block, and then you're going to see the breadcrumbs at the bottom. So you have the theme block, which is inside the custom card, which is inside a column, which is inside the overall columns block. So if I click on the column, it's going to select the entire column, which I can, you know, set the settings over here. And at this point I'm gonna just update, and you're gonna see that independently the animations are gonna come in. There's a down, there's a zoom in, as opposed to the left side. Everything came in at once because the animation is on the entire card and not on the individual items. And also notice that each time I'm going to be loading the page, we are going to have a different random card coming up. Okay. All right. That's it for now. So these are the things I have to fix. So as far as the Artisteer plugin is involved, those are the things that I have to fix, that will change with some Gutenberg updates, or with specifically with WordPress 5.9. Uh, most of those things are very easily done. Probably it's going to take me an hour or so. These are the actual themes, the 16 themes that I have created. Again, those are small items, but because each theme has multiple style sheets, it's over 100 in the end. I have to update the Artisteer plugin and then export all 100 plus themes slash style sheets, and with doing backing up and everything else, doing 100 exporting 100 over 100 styles or themes takes about 5 hours or so. Then I have the this is my biggest issue. It's the theme blocks. I've got a lot of stuff here that I need to test. I'm adding a lot more plugins, replacing some of them. So this is going to take me a day or two to do that. And these are the general fixes that in most cases are covered here or here, or I have no solutions for them yet. As far as the projects go, well, that's going to be one of the things, and this is basically the ACF projects. A real estate site, a cars dealership site, and so on and so forth. So after I deal with the themes, I'm gonna take care of that. But before taking care of the projects, I guess I have to deal with the full site editing. So I'll be creating full site editing themes as well. And the advantage of full site editing for you guys is that you're not gonna need Artisteer or anything else to create your own themes. So once you get one of my themes, for example this one, which is called Nick, of course that name is going to change. It's going to be different. Yeah. So you can go to the editor, the theme editor. I don't know if you have any experience with full site editing, and you can create your own styles. So this is the lighter version, this is the dark version that I have created. You can create your own templates, and these are the current templates: single page, single post, single product for WooCommerce, the different pages. And you can have the template parts, which is the footer and the header. Okay, and this is the header. We have the site title, slogan, if you want to have a logo, and the navigation, and then the color, of course, and anything else you can imagine, like social icons, blah blah blah. You can, once you've done with all that, all you have to do is click to the options and say export, and it's going to export the theme with all the changes that you have created, which by the way includes typography, different text colors, different text fonts, sizes, um, uh, and the link colors, and the background. When it comes to the colors, the background of the content, the text color, and the links also in there. So, and then you can go and customize each individual block, and these are the core blocks. So all those customizations, once you've done, all you have to do is go up here and say export, and then everything is going to be exported just like you do in Artisteer, but the only difference is that it's going to export as Nick in this example because the theme name is called Nick. All you have to do is go into your styles CSS file and change the name, and also change the folder name to whatever you want, and you're done. You're going to have a brand new theme to your specifications, and all the blocks, everything else that I'm going to have custom made, the functions, PHP file, and everything else, everything is going to be included. So this there's a good indication, there's a good chance that if things go right, if they finish with this feature, full site editing, you'll have not necessarily an Artisteer replacement, because I still prefer Artisteer. You're going to have a second option of creating your own themes. The problem is, once you give it to a client, once you give it to another person, they're going to have the same amount of chances of taking your finished theme, making changes to it, and export it as their own. Okay? So you're going to be working off my starter themes, going off, and somebody else might continue editing and making it their own. Welcome to GPL.